You hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me turn my volume up.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Crank that shit, bitch.
Carol Baskin.
Killed her husband, whacked
Whack
him.
it.
Can convince me that it didn't happen.
Happen.
Better, the Tigers. They snacking. Carol Baskin. Bitch, that shit be playing in my head all day. Fuck.
I was cleaning my house today and I'm like walking around, Piper's following me, and I just like stopped and turned around and went, Carol Baskin.
I'm at work and I'm fucking like getting ready for the next case and I go, Carol Baskin. And everyone just looks at me and I'm like, it's fine. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. Let me get it out.
Get off my dick.
And get off my dick, but I also did it all day because I can't stop, won't stop.
Um, so what's up? How are you?
Oh my gosh. I'm one Bada mini box wine into tonight, so
Nice. So you like box wine? I've never had it.
it's basically white trash, so I'm all about it because I live in Florida. But also canned wine is lit as fuck.
But does it pop? Does it like pop like a soda?
It makes the sound, but like it ain't bubbly.
That was on point though. Okay, cool. So what are you talking about?
Oh wow, we getting into it. Okay.
Yeah,
Fuck.
bro, we getting into it.
Okay, so I'm talking about okay, and honestly, I'm a little bit too like tipsy to probably be talking about this because it has Spanish words in it.
So you're welcome, everyone.
Everybody, y'all welcome. I'm talking about murder. Um, but
Murder.
it's fucking Spanish, so everyone, my name's Spanish, but I'm not. I'm whiter than fucking rice. So
Wait, your name is Spanish?
Ariana, I thought was Spanish my whole life growing up.
I have no idea because I say it the whitest way possible.
That's true.
Ariana.
Hold on, let me pull this up on my laptop.
I can't
Uh,
even roll my R's.
right,
Oh, bitch.
everybody's pussies just threw up. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I figured out my shit. So today I'm talking about oh fuck, Juana Brasa. Sorry,
Oh,
everybody.
bitch.
Basically, Juana Braza, the white way I'm about to say it, she is a Mexican serial killer and con artist.
Like she's
She's
she's from and lives and in Mexico?
yeah.
Yeah.
I said what
Okay,
I
LL
said.
Cool J.
I said what I said. Um, so her official, fuck me, her official name is. I hate myself. Okay.
Get your life together.
I have to talk Spanish. I hate myself so much. Okay. Ah, Mataviejitas. It means little old lady killer.
That
This is
sounded so
not
spicy.
this is not funny. I hate myself so much.
It's
Thank
fine.
you, Boda Mini Box Wine, for this content.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor me. I'm crying. We're like 2 seconds in. Okay. So this is getting real. She was born in Mexico in 1957. Her dad was a cop and her mom was a prostitute. So 3 months after she was born, her
Wait.
mom, yeah, we already
Her
stopped
dad
and
was a
paused.
cop and her mom was a prostitute.
Yes.
Were they like married?
No.
Okay, well that makes more sense. Anyway, go ahead.
Continue. So 3 months after being alive, her mom abandoned the dad and began an adulterous relationship with another man who was married to a woman. So basically, her mom's a hoe. And her mom home wrecked this relationship, and this guy became her stepdad. Anyways, long story short, no one fucking cares. Um, so what we really care about here is at the age of 12, this is terrible, her mom pimped her out to a
Oh,
man named Jose Lugo. And she pimped her out for 3 beers, which is ass. Like,
damn,
that's
bitch.
fucked up. Yeah, it's so fucked up. And what's even worse is this guy got her pregnant twice.
Mm.
Yeah. She was 13 and 16 both of those times, and both of those pregnancies ended up in miscarriages. Basically, she grew up in a fucked up childhood. Her mom ended up dying of cirrhosis of the liver, and she basically grew up in turmoil. Her life was not that great. She had all these failed marriages, terrible relationships, obviously from her upbringing. And when she finally did get pregnant from those marriages, she ended up having 4 kids. Her firstborn child died in a gang shooting when he was only 24. So her legacy of a kind of terrible lifestyle continued on with her kids' lives, unfortunately. But then all of a sudden, during the 80s and 90s, she had a variety of jobs where she toured Mexico as a masked wrestler.
Yeah.
Named La Dama de Silencio, the Lady of Silence, which is appropriate,
shit.
right? Yeah, so she chose that name in reference to her own personality. In 1995, she was a little bit low on that cash money after her 4th child was born. So she began to steal items from shops and, it later evolved into a burglary. In 1996, she had a friend, Martinez, and they would steal things from the elderly because who's weaker than the elderly or children? And they would dress in white clothes and pretend to be nurses. So they would come to like these old people's homes and pretend to be orderlies and would just like steal from their house. Yeah.
I read a statistic the other day that said that most female serial killers or like killers in general pose as caregivers.
Yeah, because honestly, like, who doesn't trust a nurse, right?
Right, exactly.
Hell yeah, especially in today's times.
A CNA, now that's CNAs are sketchy.
But a nurse, though.
Very trustworthy.
Oh my god. So her friend Martinez was in a corrupt relationship with a federal police officer. So her friend Martinez and this cop that she was banging, they came in a parallel plan to extort her and basically fuck her over. So Martinez and her, they went on this burglary, and she fucking had a fake stick up with her boyfriend saying that if she didn't pay 12,000 pesos in return for not arresting her, they would arrest her. So now she's like, fuck, my bestie is fucking me over, make me pay this cop or they're gonna fucking arrest me. So she ended up paying, and in the year 2000, she ended up retiring from wrestling. She was wrestling to get money. She was wrestling. So she would earn 300 to 500 pesos per wrestle. Okay. So she was hella desperate. So all of a sudden in Mexico City, murder started to increase in the elderly. And they were all like, damn, the fuck? And they called it fuck this. I should have had Suri tell me what this says. Mataviejitas. So the L indicated that it was like a male perpetrator because like la is female and L is male because they.
The one thing I remember from 4 years of Spanish.
L and la. So it was L. So everyone's like, it's a dude. However, Mexico City police denied any connection between the crimes and the number of people that were imprisoned for some of the murders. So like her first victim was a person with a really long name who was killed November in 2002. And she was, once like she made it into her apartment, the victim made comments that basically she was like that Barraza was like condescending to her.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically she was like condescending, and then she ended up like beating the old lady before strangling her.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. But she didn't kill again for at least 3 more months. So, she had a break.
And that was her first time killing.
Her first murder.
So it's like she got a taste for it. Maybe it was on accident. Maybe that first one was like the old lady just pissed her off and she.
Yeah. I feel like it was just like, yeah, like she was like, fuck you, bitch. But after November 2003, police had a lot of evidence and witnesses to believe that the serial killer was involved, like it was a serial killing.
Ooh.
And they basically were like, it has to be someone that's like kind of tall, who's like, they're posing as someone to get into the victims' houses. So like they're trying to like piece things together. But the police were reluctant to make it public because they thought that they might have a weapon to fight between the federal government and the city council. I don't know. It became like kind of political at this point,
Of course it does. It always does.
I know, and that's not much.
I feel like Mexico is notoriously known for that type of like fuckery.
Yeah, right?
Like their police system is really corrupt, and like that's why they can have so much gang violence. I mean, not that like the US is any better. Our police are pretty corrupt too sometimes, but like they're known for that.
Yeah, like especially if you watch Narcos. I know it's not necessarily in Mexico, but like I've watched Narcos.
I tried watching that, but goddamn it, you can't look at your phone and watch it because you have to read.
My God,
read the show.
Yes. If you sneeze, you have to rewatch the whole fucking episode.
Oh my God, I was like 2 episodes in, I was like, you know what, fuck this.
Fuck this, I don't have the time to read.
I turn on Netflix to look at my phone.
Yeah, exactly. I have my phone out and I'm on it and I'm just like partially listening in the background.
Yeah, so I couldn't do Narcos.
It's actually good though. So if you ever have time to read,
Okay.
I would suggest. Long story short, police released a wanted poster of like this random sketch of this woman. And so there are 2 posters. So one was a little more feminine and then another was a little more masculine. But the sketches were labeled as persons of the same like identity, but there wasn't any mention of like their clothing. So it was kind of like, there's a serial killer. This is what they kind of look like. And if you look her up, she clearly looks feminine, but she got a butch haircut like me. So
hold on, I want to look her up. What's her name again?
Damn.
Okay.
Juana Juana Barraza, Barraza, Barraza. Shit.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh yeah, she's. I mean, like yeah.
I feel like with the short hair, sometimes it's hit or miss.
She definitely looks like a man in this red mugshot photo.
Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So in 2005, she begins a relationship with a taxi driver, Torres. We'll just call him that. But they call him, his alias is El Frijol, which means the bean. He ends up becoming her accomplice. So the attacks and burglaries end up increasing in range and frequency. So they end up murdering Carmen in September 2005. She's an upper class woman. And Louis, the Bean, he kind of spurred the police into launching a special operation. I'm not going to fucking even... Operación Parques y Jardines. Operation Parks and Gardens.
You did way better than I would have done.
It's just I try to fake it till I make it.
Wow. So
basically the officers start patrolling areas where the killer's activities were increased. Obviously, common fucking sense. In a move that was heavily criticized, the police announced that they were looking for a homosexual man, transvestite, or transgender. But at the same time, if she's like a sumo wrestler, not a sumo wrestler, she's like a, she's a wrestler. He's wrestling. So are they far off? Jesus. I don't know. She has a short haircut. I can't blame them. I'd be like, yes. If they came after me and they're like homosexual man, I'd be like, yes. Not wrong.
I completely agree.
But then in October, there was a lack of murders, so they're like, damn, this killer committed suicide. That's literally what they said. They said, well.
Wow.
But then she kicked it back up in January 2006, And she was seen by a tenant as she left the murder scene of Ana Maria Los Rejas Alfero. And then she was arrested by a police officer.
Wow.
Yeah. And get this shit. She
Okay.
was illiterate.
Wait. She could
Yeah.
not.
She could not read. She could not read.
What? How did she make it that far in life?
And
not that she made it far. She was a serial killer.
But what's really weird too is that in her home, after they arrested her and searched her house, they found a trophy room with all the newspaper clippings of the murders and like random objects she would take. So although she couldn't read, I mean, obviously she could probably read her fucking name, but she had like all of this like memorabilia of her murders that she couldn't even read. So like she had newspaper clippings, but she couldn't even read them.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And so she was criticized as misleading the public into thinking that the police had been on the right trail the whole time. But in reality, she had been wrestling just 1 week before her arrest.
What?
Yeah. So in 2000, she was wrestling. And in 2008, she was tried for 30 murders. And she was only found guilty of 16 of them, which the fuck? But oh, okay, whatever. So the total sentencing that she was brought to was 759 years.
Oh my god. No life in prison.
Don't worry. She is going to be paroled regardless in 2058 at the ripe old age of 100.
Damn.
Yeah.
So wait, how long did her killing spree go on for? It was like 2000 to 2006, right?
Yeah, so she would approach her victims on the street or knock on the door, basically pretending to be like a social worker or a nurse. And then somehow she like acquired an actual nurse's uniform, but also they sell them at Walmart, so like, okay, girl.
Right, or you could like go to a scrub store and buy scrubs.
Yeah, so once her victims were just distracted, she would strangle them. And then, or if not, she would hit them first and then use her wrestling moves.
Would she take anything from them? I mean, of value and try and sell it, or was it just like trophies for her to keep?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So she would like
I wonder. Go ahead.
She would like take money and shit, and then, or she would just like take valuables to like sell them.
What a bitch.
Right? What a fucking bitch.
Hey, did I tell you that I read that serial killers, they're mainly like Geminis and Virgos and
I'm not surprised.
such an angry bitch.
I'm not surprised.
Or like anyone with narcissist. I wonder if like Aries was on there.
I think of this as like Geminis could do it because they got two different sides to them and they could like easily pull that shit off.
Yeah.
And then Virgos, I feel like personally, we could plot that shit out because Gordon, when I was like heavy into Criminal Minds, I'd be like, that's so dumb. I would do it this way. And sometimes Gordon would look at me and be like, oh my God, my life is in danger.
Also, I feel like Virgos have this like tendency to snap when something isn't like going a certain way or like perfect in their mind.
Yeah, facts. That's exactly how I live my life.
I live that life.
When I'm at work and things change, I'm like, wow, I'm gonna kill a bitch.
Okay. Are you ready to hear about this sex cult?
Oh, fuck me up, yeah.
Wait, were you done? I'm just assuming you were done.
Oh yeah, I'm done. Fast murder.
All right, so God damn it. These allergies are killing me, girl.
Yeah, like, can we talk about how you like might have had corona?
I definitely had corona. Remember, I'm sure you guys remember the horrible sounds I would make in the podcast, like me coughing for 3 months straight. It's because I had the Rona.
Hell yeah.
Anyway. All right, so this sex cult is,
yes.
I'm going to like get into it, but let me just say it came since the 80s. It's kind of been this thing that has been talked about, but it came back really when they released the files from the FBI and when Epstein killed himself and all that. Like, oh my gosh, it's just crazy. So here we go. So I got most of my sources, most of my sources were like Washington Post, the actual FBI website, and I had
Oh
to
my
read through
God.
those fucking papers, and there was all this
Ew,
like
bomb.
professional talk, and I was like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, right? They have like all this lingo and you're like, I have to Google 7 words now.
Yeah, so I looked at that, and then I got some stuff from Vice too. So after years and years and years of push from conspiracy theories, I wrote conspiracy theories theorist. Okay, so like after years of conspiracy theorists, talking about this sex cult, in October of 2019, the FBI released 324 pages. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, of a report all about the Finders. That's what the cult is called, is the Finders.
Oh my God, never heard of this. What the fuck?
I know, me either until now. So they're a DC-based organization. They have origins that date all the way back to World War II. The police reports, memos, and the press clippings that were in the FBI report recaptured the interest of conspiracy theorists when it came out in 2019, because this happened back in 1987.
Oh, good.
Okay, so before we get into like what the Finders were all about, basically this all started February 4th, 1987, and this was during the Satanic Panic. We were not alive then, obviously, but that's when like everyone was worried about heavy metal rock music and relations to like teenagers worshiping the devil and stuff like that. A wild time.
Damn.
Everybody was doing coke.
Basically.
So Tallahassee, it all happened in Tallahassee, Florida, too.
Oh my God, of course it fucking did. Anyways,
In
continue.
Florida.
Shit.
So a Tallahassee woman called the police in 1987 on 2 men who were in the park with 6 odd-looking children. Like, these 2 men were really well dressed, and that was super odd given the fact that they were driving around in a crappy old white van with 6 unkept and malnourished children. So I mean, like, that screams red flags. It screams red flags.
Ugh.
So like, good for this woman for calling the police, because I'm sure a lot of people saw them and they were like, oh, that seems normal.
This is fine.
The 2 men were identified as Douglas Ammerman and James Howell. They were held in custody as the police investigated the situation. The children were held in state custody until their mothers could be located. So basically, this investigation went on for 6 weeks. The FBI was working with the Tallahassee police to investigate the charges. However, after that 6 weeks, there was no evidence of child abuse, and the men were released and charges were dropped, which I think is really, really fishy to begin with.
Yeah,
like,
right? The fuck?
You only investigate this for 6 weeks, and I'm going to talk in a minute about like what they found, and you're going to be like, yeah, this definitely has government involvement, stench related to it.
Stench.
It's stanky, bitch. While the children were in state custody, over 500 calls came in asking about them. Eventually, their mothers were all found. Everything seemed well and good, case closed, until this mysterious call came in from a Florida resident, and his name was Skip Clemens. Skip called out the investigation as a cover-up for the group of the Finders. He convinced 2 congressmen, like it went that far up, he convinced 2 congressmen to call for an investigation into the case to look up this group that he mentioned. So now we get into actually what the Finders are. They're a group that are based in Washington, D.C. They, the area they live in is compared to like a 1960s commune.
Okay, no.
Right? Like, it just screams red flags. They're described in a court document as a cult that allegedly conducted brainwashing and used children in rituals, quote unquote.
Oh, God.
Okay, so 2 days after the men were arrested in Tallahassee, the DC police got information, and they went to go search this like warehouse that was linked to the group. And from that warehouse, they removed large plastic bags filled with colored slides. Like, this was in the 80s, so they had like the slide projector things. Photographs, and photographic contact sheets. Some photos that were visible through the plastic bags included school-sized pictures of children, and some of them were naked.
Oh my fuck.
Right. Oh my fuck.
I
Yeah,
hate
I
this
should have said
so
this is like
much.
triggering if you're not into. I mean, nobody's into child pornography. Wow. Okay.
Wow, Caroline.
Jesus Christ.
If you're not into really fucked up shit.
Like, this is fucked up.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so officials from the U.S. Customs Service called in to aid the investigation, said the material seized included photos of children in bloodletting ceremonies. Do you know what
Oh
that
my
is?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tell people that don't know.
Okay, so
Fuck.
bloodletting is like cutting an animal's throat and like letting them bleed to death. It's like used in rituals. It's real fucked up.
Sometimes they do it to people too. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, they thought that bloodletting would like help cure illnesses, which is like
Okay.
retarded.
They also used to stab people in the eyes, so.
Yeah, right? Like the fuck.
Anyway, so yeah, they did the bloodletting ceremonies of animals, and this is all photographic evidence. And
Oh,
then
fuck.
they also found one photograph of a child in chains.
Oh.
I know it's really, really tough, like, to think about. Okay, so the officials weren't sure what they had just found, but evidence led them to believe they were dealing with a child porn ring or a satanic sex cult, or both. They really had no idea.
That shit is both as fuck. Oh my god.
Yeah. The two men that they had captured in Tallahassee, Florida, had links to the DC area that led authorities into this like far-reaching investigation that included the Finders Group, and that's a group of about like 40 people. The court documents allege that the group is led by a man named Marion Petty. Yeah, so they had various like locations and homes, duplex apartments, a warehouse, a 90-acre farm out in Virginia. According to the FBI documents, I just lost my fucking spot.
I hate when that happens.
Computers, and this is in the like late 80s. So I mean, these people were a little ahead of their time. So computers, software were all seized from all those different places. A photo album included images of children wearing white robes and participating in ritual sacrifice of goats.
Oh my god. Okay, goats have been too prevalent. Goats have been too prevalent in my life, but continue.
What happened about goats?
I don't know. I just read this book and it had goats in it, and now goats are everywhere, and it's freaking me the fuck out. I hate goats.
Goats are like associated with satanic stuff and like the Illuminati, and it's
my god.
I know, bitch. Documents that were also retrieved from agency raids included ways that the group could obtain children for unspecified reasons, which included impregnating female members of the group, purchasing children on the black market, and kidnapping them, as well as an order for 2 children placed in Hong Kong.
The fuck?
Right. There was also a set of instructions for members to keep the children moving and information on how to avoid attention from police. And that's why they think that these men were in Tallahassee, Florida, because they had a Virginia license plate. They were in Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm going to get to it in a minute, but when they talked to the kids said that they were just like constantly moving around to different areas.
Wow.
Yeah, to avoid attention from police. Because, I mean, I'm sure they knew they were on the radar. If you are running, like, a sex traffic ring, you have to know the FBI somehow knows about you. They just can't, like, prove it.
Right, yeah.
You know? Okay, so this Marion Petty guy, who is the supposed leader of this group, he was self-educated. He actually did not graduate high school, but he was a retired Army officer. A lot of what's weird about this cult, quote unquote cult, because I mean I don't know if they're really like called that.
They're a cult for show.
Yeah. The core group, and keep in mind this is in the Washington DC area, and there's a lot of like fancy people that live up there.
Yeah, hella fancy.
Presidents and shit. So many of the people in the core group were extremely well educated. They came from prestigious universities, and they held super important jobs. Petty said that the group began in the 1930s, like before World War II. He rented 2 apartments in Washington, D.C., and this is a quote from him, he opened them up for anybody that wanted to come in. The idea in my head was that they were going to come in and teach me something about power, money, and sex. So, get this. It's like he opened this weird cultish sex dungeon apartment place in the 1930s. Airbnb in the 1930s, and he was basically like, I'm going to get people of power to come in here and teach me their ways, and I'm going to bribe them and, like, lure them in with money and sex with kids and just weird shit.
And trap them.
Yeah, trap them and basically have something over them. I think that was his main goal.
Yeah.
So a former member, his name was Robert Terrell, he met Petty in 1971, and this is kind of a long quote, but it's like a direct quote from him when he talked to reporters years later. So Petty used the term pressure cooker. The idea was to explore your own person and discover your own true nature. You can't do that just sitting at a desk or in a couch or on a couch in a routine way. You have to have some experiences. So Petty was good at structuring experiences from which you could learn. He called himself the game caller. And what that meant was that he'd call a game for you to do something where you'd gain experience.
Oh my God.
Isn't that like creepy just to think about? Like he wanted control. He wanted to control.
Yeah.
For Robert Terrell, game playing ranged from working at a temp accounting agency in downtown Washington, D.C. law firm, to a law firm, to catching a flight to Japan with 2 hours notice to gather information on Japanese companies and report back to Petty. It was a subculture built on whimsy and intrigue, and this sense of like tribal affiliation. So I read that and immediately have you ever seen Gilmore Girls?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so immediately my mind went to the Life and Death Brigade. Rory joined with Logan when she went to Yale University, and they like yeah, their like main mantra was like carpe diem, live life to the fullest, and I just immediately got this like thought back to that when it was basically talking about whimsy and intrigue and like the sense of tribal affiliation. So it was just a bunch of middle-aged dudes who were looking for excitement, and they got into this weird shit.
But it's like middle-aged dudes that couldn't just like jack off in a parking lot or something. They had to like do some weird fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. It's like, in my mind, it's like, yeah, like, okay, I have tattoos and like, you know, whatever. Like I do like to other people that are like white collar, like suburban moms, like my life is like, oh my God, she's so edgy. Right. But like, where does that line come where you just fucking take a big ass leap over it and you cross it into weird shit? That's what I don't understand.
I don't understand that either, but we've never been put in a position like that where we have that opportunity. I mean, I know for a fact that if someone like put child porn in front of me, I'd be like, no, thank you.
No, thanks. Hard pass.
Not my cup of tea.
But even then, it's like, okay, what could they? I don't know. It's just weird to me where people can seemingly get themselves in these situations where they have someone over them that has like this dirt on them. You know what I mean? Like, how are you surrounding yourself with people that are going to fuck you like hard if they find out or get you in this situation? Like, don't people want to protect themselves and be like, that's a nah for me, dog? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, how can you be like, yeah, Billy Bob Thornton, fuck me up in some way that's going to ruin the rest of my life. I love it. Like, what?
Like, I think some people thrive on that, like, at any moment I could get caught, you know? Like adrenaline junkies. I don't know.
But I feel like that's murderers. Like, they're like, yeah, like, let me be in control of the murder and everything. Not like, hey, yeah, you be in control of my future. Like, I have to jump when you say jump, you know, because you're going to fuck me up if I don't. I don't know. Maybe they're submissive. Whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this Finders group, they basically their kids through, like, or the kids, I can't say they were their kids, through hands-on experiences, and they were basically invisible to the outside world until this incident in 1987. The U.S. Customs agents had a lot of reason to suspect the group may have been involved with international child trafficking and transferring of international currencies, which, like, duh, of course they were involved with child trafficking. Like,
Yeah, what the
I
fuck?
just feel like that's a red flag. All of that is a red flag. So get this, the U.S. Customs Agency, attempted to follow up on the case in April of 1987, just a few months later. They were immediately informed the case was considered an internal CIA matter, and any information the agency had previously collected on the group was ordered to be turned over immediately. So how sketchy is that?
What?
The only time a CIA would take over a case internally is if they were like, they knew something nobody else knew already.
Yeah, like immediately turned over. Like what?
Yeah, it's just sketchy. The CIA, of course, has maintained this is like bullshit. They say there's only 2 connections between the CIA organization and the finders, which I think if you even have 2 connections between a sex cult and the CIA, that's still 2 more than you should have.
Oh my God, exactly. Like what the fuck? If you have like even a quarter of an inch, like bitch, no.
So get this, the Marion Petty guy who like is the founder of the Finders, his
Mm-hmm.
fucking wife worked for the CIA.
Okay, I feel like it's really weird when women are involved in this shit. And I'm not trying to be like sexist or anything, but as a woman, I feel like you have some minute form of like motherly instinct where if you see fucking children getting tortured like this, you should be like,
Yeah.
no, thank you. Not like,
Okay.
yeah, let's do it.
I thought that same thing basically my whole life up until a week ago. I joined this. It's called Child Free and Chill. It's like a group on Facebook of just people who are just
Oh
don't
my
have
God,
kids.
basically people living their best life during this quarantine. Continue.
Right, they just don't have kids. And I
Fucking
got on
jealous of
there
you guys.
and I'm like, I like kids. Like I nanny, I get along well with kids. I'm okay if I don't have kids. I still like them, but some of these women on there, bitch, I had to leave the group because they are just like
Shut,
hateful to children.
shut up.
And I was really uncomfortable. Like I got on there to see if there were any like-minded people who, live child-free and wanted to like, I don't know, talk about it. But these people were like hating on children. And I was like, no, I'm not about that life. I have to leave. So
Really?
anyway, I think it's possible for women to literally have no motherly instinct, and those are the women who get involved in these fucking sex cults.
Damn. Like, I've never really met another woman that doesn't like basically like it's like you love kids and like kids are cool, but like if you don't want to have any, like that's also cool. It's not like you're shitting on kids, like but at the
And
same
yeah,
time like
it's,
it's I think that's so weird. Like I
it's
really
weird.
do. Like I don't think you have to have kids, but I think it's weird for anybody not to like kids. Like kids are the essence of innocence. Yeah, they're annoying fucks, but like that's innocence. Like that's like eternal
Yeah.
bliss right there. Like you can't fault them and you can't want to harm them. Like they don't know any better.
Some
So that's
people are
why I
just really sick and fucked up in the head.
that's why I feel like child abuse, like it honestly makes my stomach churn. Like there's like child abuse and animal abuse go hand in hand for me. Like they're all so innocent. Like how could you ever hurt something like that? That's so pure.
Because some people are fucking sociopaths and they have no empathy. They have
Ugh.
no, like, sense of regret or wrongdoing. I mean, like, this book that I told you about that I just read about
Mhm.
that mom abusing her 3 daughters. I
Ugh.
mean, she played fucking mind games with them. One minute she'd be beating them, and the next minute she'd be loving on them, saying she was so sorry and they shouldn't have done what they did, which was nothing, to deserve it. And it's like she's a fucking sociopath. She doesn't care about anyone but herself. Her wants and needs are number one concern always.
That
And
is
it's so
so
fucked up because
crazy.
those people, those types of people, you would not suspect that from the outside looking in. That's why you say, like, you don't understand. You've never met a woman who hates children because she's not going to fucking just openly say that.
Yeah, yeah,
She's going
yeah.
to hide it because it's like, that's how, I don't know. It's, anyway, off topic.
Anyways, back to where we are going.
Blah blah blah. The CIA basically were like, oh yeah, we have two connections, and that's it, just two. It's not a big deal.
I got two phones. That's it.
Homes. So his wife, Marion Petty's wife, Isabel Petty, um, was employed by the agency from 1952 to 1961. So
Hmm.
9-ish years. Um, the CIA used a company for its computer training that happened to employ members of the finders.
You know,
You know,
sometimes, sometimes things happen.
but
The fuck?
that's a really big like coincidence because a lot of these people from the finders, like I said, were super well off people and they had really good jobs in the government and they just happened to work with the CIA. Like it's
This is
just
the shit that makes me so fucking mad.
yeah, me too. Because you feel you like okay, you're supposed to trust your government, you
You're
know.
supposed to trust so many people, and I know a lot of people are corrupt, and like like okay, like right now everyone's trying to suck healthcare workers' dicks because of this COVID thing, and I get it, like we're the front lines, but I'm not abusing the power or the luxuries that are given to healthcare workers. Like I work in the operating room. I'm the last motherfucker to see a COVID patient. So if anyone's
Yeah.
sucking dick on all these free resources like better hours at Publix or free coffee at Starbucks, I'm not fucking doing that shit because honestly, I don't think I deserve it. I haven't done dick. But
Yeah.
like those bitches that are on the front lines, they deserve it. It's like people abuse power all the time and I fucking it makes me sick. I hate it. I can't stand it. Same with like the government and like shit like that. Like y'all trifling.
Trifling hoes.
Y'all trifling hoes. Y'all making me mad.
Yeah, it's been bullshit.
That's some real
Um,
bullshit.
so Petty Marion Petty claimed he had no formal connection to the agency, but
Hmm.
had an intense interest in how they operated and believed that his wife would be able to gather information for him. Other members of the cult were also found to have worked for the private computer firm, which I just said. So the group dwindled out of existence supposedly because we don't know. But in 2004, when Petty died, um, the group supposedly just like fell apart. It's still a super massively talked about topic in conspiracy communities, especially with the Epstein suicide and then the rumors surrounding like the Clintons and Trump and just high-ranking celebrities and officials and stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. There was no conclusion. Like I said, they charges on those men in Tallahassee were dropped even after finding all that evidence, which I would think it was evidence, but all of a sudden the CIA is like, hey, you know what? We got it from here. And then
You
we
know
just never
what?
hear anything about it.
You know what? We got this, but y'all don't need to know how it turns out. It's fine. We got it.
Yeah, so the FBI report that was released was basically about the like Tallahassee arrest that happened, and then a little bit more like obviously the stuff that they found when they raided the warehouse, but then the CIA was just like, we got it. Don't even worry about it. We don't want to stress you out with it. We can take care of it. And then the US and everybody never heard of it again.
Wow. We
Yeah.
got this. Y'all just gonna look at this
Yeah.
light as I press this button and forget about it.
So I don't know. Like, what is your opinion on because obviously Epstein owned that island that was like this
Oh my
notorious.
God, he did not kill himself.
No, I don't think he killed himself either, obviously, but like,
Okay,
do you
you know what
think
I
that.
think?
Tell me.
Hillary's a badass bitch and she was protecting her man and she killed that man. She said, "Fuck, Mr. Clinton is about to go to prison. I need to protect my man." And
Yeah,
she,
because he
I
got
think she fucking,
caught.
I think that was a Hillary thing. I think Hillary said, snapped her fingers and he got.
Yeah, I think so
Because I
too.
think that okay, this is like far-fetched because a lot of people don't believe in aliens, come to find out, but whatever. But
Really?
if I
Fuck
feel,
y'all.
yeah, I've been asking all around and because that's like my first three questions I ask people and I get to know them. And a
Yes.
lot of people have been saying no to me and I'm like, you're wrong, but okay. But like
Hold on. Wait,
alien,
wait.
okay, yeah,
Pause. Hold
pause.
that thought. I actually, um, asked Rich the other day, I was like, do you believe in aliens? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure we had talked about it before, but, like, I just needed to know right then, do you believe in aliens? And he looked at me like I was fucking dumb, and he's like, you think we're the only ones in this whole entire fucking universe?
Thank
and
you.
just kept on doing what he was doing, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, that answers that. Great.
So we woke on the low, though.
We woke because he's like, are you dumb, bitch? Anyways, so this pasta tastes good.
Moving on.
But yeah, come to find out, it's like, it's 50-50. Either people really believe or really don't. So it's like, okay, if the government were to really tell us, especially if this whole COVID thing, we wouldn't be able to handle it. So it
No.
kind of goes like hand in hand with if everyone knew what high up officials actually did, we would all probably have a fucking panic attack.
True.
Because we see how celebrities live their lives, and some people can't even handle that. Like with how much money and, bullshit they have. But could you imagine if you actually knew what happened behind closed doors? I think some things are better left off, unknown.
Yeah.
But, but at the same time, that whole Epstein thing with like the island and like it was so fucking sketchy that like he better be thankful he's dead because he was gonna get fucked up in prison.
Yeah.
But I also think Hillary Clinton did it. Because
like, whatever. If the government wants to keep their secrets about aliens and other shit like that, whatever. But when it comes to, like, government officials being involved with child trafficking and,
what the fuck?
like, I don't know, like, I
Is
don't
it like
want to
do
believe
you have to
it.
like fill out a questionnaire like when you want to become higher up like in the government? They're like, question number 1, do you like kids? Yes or no? You're like sweating trying to figure out the right answer. If you pick no, they're like, not this one's not good. This one's gotta go. No, that one can be a governor or some shit. Like, no.
These are thoughts that I have when I get stoned and I start to like really deep dive into my brain and think about stuff. Like, okay, so you're President Obama, okay, for instance, and you get up in there. Obviously, he was in government for a while beforehand, but at what point is he at just like a gala and a creepy old white man comes up to him and says, hey, I got a place where we got some kids? Like, at what point does that happen in your career? And how does it happen? And is it really that easy, or do you have to, like, say, hey, I'm into this, and someone's like, oh, I know a guy.
I had this conversation today, and it want like not this exact conversation, but
Okay.
someone said to me on a lower scale that I think more people can relate to, is that they were telling me how a friend of theirs used to work at Mickey D's, and they would deal drugs at a Mickey D's, and I was like, how does that work? You come up to the drive-through, like what's your order to get drugs? Like it has to be so specific yet so relatable.
Yeah.
You're gonna get weed in your bag, but also does that 90-year-old grandma does she want the dope or does she want the dope?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? I was like, so what do you order? Like, hey, can I get an Oreo McFlurry, hold the Oreos and put M&Ms in it? Like, is that your like what the fuck is your order at McDonald's to get drugs?
I
Also,
wish it was that easy. God damn.
like, right? Because I was like, what the fuck? How does this work? And like that's what I think of too on the higher ups, like you just said. So all of a sudden you're president and people are just trying to like throw kids at you. Like what happens here? How do we get to A to B?
Yeah, it's just a little too much for my brain to handle sometimes. Like, it's a lot, and it's creepy, and like I want to know more about it, and I want to be the person that like solves this case.
Yeah,
But
girl.
with child sex trafficking and the government, it's never gonna. I mean, there's money in it, obviously, and that's all people care about because they're corrupt as fuck.
Right?
Oh God, it's depressing.
It really is. So we have a question coming in from the request line, aka Taylor, wants to know,
What's up, bitch?
have you watched Tiger King?
I said explicitly on Instagram that I had not watched it, and I'm pretty sure she voted in the poll.
Yeah, but she wants to know, like, did you change your mind and did you fucking watch it?
I just can't. I don't know. I'm so worried. I am so easily triggered by animal abuse.
Okay, Let me just tell you how early on it's not even about that.
Okay.
Literally, I watched it and I'm obsessed with it because it's like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but white trash Florida.
It's like Keeping Up the Kardashians, but relatable to you,
Yes.
right? Like not
100.
in a horrible, like you're not them, you live
Um,
in Florida.
Literally, it's like the first episode, it starts off and you're like, this is some shit. And then you're like, what the fuck? And then it goes, what the fuck? And then you're like, hold up, episode 2. And you're like, wait, bitch, the fuck?
Okay. All right. I am saying right now that when we get off this Skype call and I go make dinner and take a shower and, I put on Tiger King because Rich is gaming till probably 4 o'clock in the morning because he
Yes.
thinks he's 20. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it and I'll get back to you.
All I'm saying is like, I've never laughed so hard in my life.
I just want to see because of course, I see all the memes and I feel like I've seen it because I've seen all the memes.
But like, you haven't though. Like, you just, oh.
So the meme about his fucking eyebrow ring, I have to see it in real. Like I have to see it.
Bitch, it's not even the eyebrow wing. He has like a whole ear full of loops, and they're all holding on for dear life. Like, that is my sanity during this quarantine. It's just me holding on to his fucking eyebrow skin.
Yes, I'm gonna. Now you got me like interested in it. I'm gonna watch it. All right, that
I
was.
was the
Wait,
same.
hold
I was
on.
the same. So,
I think
I,
I had a question from the request line too.
oh hell yeah.
Hold that thought. Well, maybe it's not like a request as much as it is. I've had so many like people say, "Hey, can you talk about this on your next show?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, we have a list of things, so calm down." But also, yes. Okay, so one of our listeners wants us to talk about Madeline McCain, which, I mean, I'm all about that, but that's a very, very, very well-known case that's been talked about already. Do you know about it?
No.
Okay, bitch. Are you
I
serious?
literally am writing it down right now.
I think I don't know, yeah, it's a really fucked up case. It's about a little girl who just like goes missing randomly, but it happened in another country and
Oh.
her parents are like being investigated. I mean, it happened years and years ago. So yes, we will talk about that because I was like, a lot of people already know about it, but obviously my fucking co-host doesn't even know about it.
I'm an idiot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wrote it down. Okay.
And then there were a few from a listener in Canada.
And our fellow Canada.
Up there in Canada. Um, she sent me a few. So anyway, I have them written down, and we'll get to them eventually.
Okay, wow, this happened in 2007. I feel like that was just yesterday. Just yesterday.
Um, Also, have you seen the TikTok of the fucking little girls, who are like 14, and they're like showing pictures of their mothers who are fucking like my age.
Yeah, and it's like hot mom check, and then like they show their mom, and I'm like, I'm your mom.
Yeah,
The
it's really
fuck?
depressing. Or like they say, "Oh, I got into my mom's closet from clothes when she was a teenager," and it's like shit that I wore when I was in
It's shit that
middle
I'm
school.
currently wearing. I'm like, I also have that cardigan. What the fuck?
I always tell Rich, I'm like, I feel young until I'm around
The youth.
actual young people, and then I'm like, wow.
I do like real old lady shit though. Like dinner time, 5 p.m. Thrilled.
I like
Bedtime,
that.
8 p.m. It's lit. Like I am actually 95.
Get me a good book and some hot tea, bitch.
Oh
Ooh!
my God, yeah. Today when it was raining and I was at work, I was so pissed. I was like, I could be home right now reading, but I'm at work. What the fuck?
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God, okay, I'm looking at this Madeline McCain shit and I'm kind of like fucked up in the brain because what the hell?
We should both talk about that like next week. Like let's
So down because there's sketches.
talk about it, talk about it, talk
about it. Oh wow, there's sketches and they're like really weird. I'm so here for it.
And she was like a beautiful little girl. Also,
oh my God, yeah, she's so cute.
I got a request to talk about John Benet Ramsey, and I'm always down for that because that's like the case that got me into like murder and shit. But also, it's very well known, so I don't know what we could talk about.
That one's known as fuck.
What?
Yeah. That one's like known as fuck. Like everyone knows that.
Okay, well, I'm done here. Do you want to hit us with an outro?
Oh, hell yeah. Y'all can find us at Wild and Woke Pod on Instagram. Caroline be posting them fire-ass memes. I hope you can hear my clapping in that.
I do.
I literally LOL, and I'll message you, like, on, like, through the Wild and Woke Pod thing, and you're probably like, you're a dumb bitch. But, like, some of those I laugh so hard at.
So my favorite is sometimes people will message me and they'll be like, "Who am I talking to, Caroline or Ariana?" And I'm like,
"Are you guys retarded? It's always Caroline, you dumb ass motherfuckers."
And when you vote in the polls, I fucking live for it.
Oh yeah, I'm like there for it. I'm like, hello, it's me. I'm here.
Oh my God.
Y'all, she posted this really funny Pornhub one where it's like when you're picky as fuck and it said page 102, but it's like the Pornhub search. I fucking died.
So what I didn't post with that was underneath, like the meme, it said Virgo things. And I didn't like put that on there, but I was like, yes, I bet you like Ariana.
And I'm fucking me like 2 hours later. Hello, it's me. That's funny as fuck, cause true. Lesbian porn, page 509.
At that point, it's just like, you know what? Put it down. You don't need it.
You don't need it. You've been looking for 2 hours. You ain't gonna rub one out to this. Okay, next.
It ain't happening, honey.
Go do the dishes and organize your closet.
Okay, but if you're a Capricorn, you have a video that you've been using for the past 2 years. You remember the title to it when you need it. It's a good old standby.
It's a goodie, but a truey.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. So, yeah.
So much.
Check us out on Instagram. It's lit.
Yeah, do that. And we'll talk to you like we actually talk to people. We'll talk to each other next week.
Can't wait, bitch.